Won't you come and take me away? I just wanna be with you. Won't you come and take me away? To a place to walk on troubled seas, faith to stand when I don't believe. I just wanna be with you. Won't you come and take me away? I just wanna be with you. Won't you come?
You are now locked into the Truth Seeker podcast, streaming live at truthseeker.com, your source for spiritual and inspirational music, teachings, and media. This show is designed to help you grow in your walk with Christ and advance the kingdom of heaven. And now, your host, Truth Seeker.
What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to another podcast. I am your host, Truth Seeker, and you guys are locked in for another episode of the Truth Seeker podcast. We've been going back and forth for a while with the names on what to call the podcast. Had all these different names and heads that we were going under for a while and kind of built some stuff up, but to kind of bring it all home and what the podcast has always been about is about Truth Seeker, man. You know what I'm saying? Conversations with me, whether we have different guests upon the show in the past. Name dropping, I've talked to Jordan Maxwell, Santos Bonacci, some really big people in the music biz. Busy Bone, one of my favorites. I had to put that episode back up, that whole conversation with Busy Bone. That's like the #1 episode that I've ever done. So all that stuff is being re-uploaded to the Truth Seeker page. So it's truthseeker.com to go and get all that info, as well as you can find us on iTunes. We should be on iTunes tonight. So I'm getting all this stuff back up. And none of this would be possible without the help of my beautiful patrons. So I want to give a shout out, like I do every episode, to the people who have been supporting this month. Really the new people who just came on. So we got a couple new people who just came on. And I want to mention your names because you guys are so awesome. And it costs money to run this stuff. Quick shout out. Sean Power, thank you so much, man. Thank you for rocking with me. You've been here for a minute. Sick Mick, Mike, what's going on, brother? Thank you so much. Bobby Light, Jeremy, Alvarenga, I'm not sure how to say that, man. I'm sorry. Moki Martin, thank you guys so much. And everybody who's been continuing to give month after month. You guys are helping me make this possible. So thank you. And if you want to give, you can go to patreon.com/truthseeker. And I've got music up there. Unreleased music. As soon as I get done mixing and mastering my stuff, I'm putting it up there for you guys before it's on an album, before it's on an EP, before anybody hears it. The patrons will get to hear it first. So there's like 6 or 7 songs up there right now. I did some cover songs. Limp Bizkit's song, Counterfeit by Limp Bizkit from the 90s. Also did a cover song to Cold Chambers' Oddity. That stuff's up there too, man. Just strictly for the nostalgic music that I listened to back in high school, man. So go check it out. Tons of new stuff on there. I just put my book up there. I wrote a book about my testimony, my biography, and I put out 25 copies of that book, and I quit pushing it simply because my mom read it, and I was excited for her to read it, and she had a panic attack when she read it. She read some of the stories I put in there, and it wasn't a beautiful sight, man. So I didn't want to promote that book anymore, man. I felt really bad after seeing my mom go through that, but it's up there for you guys to read, man. All the patrons, and thank you everybody who's been reaching out already, who's been reading it already. So that's so awesome. So patreon.com/truthseeker. You guys know what to do. So we got an awesome show for you guys tonight. I have a guest with me by the name of Beleaf from Beleaf In Fatherhood. What's going on, my brother?
What's up, man? How you doing, brother?
Okay, so he told me to introduce him as, I asked him, are you a hip-hop artist? Are you a rapper, Christian rapper? What are you?
Yeah, there you go. Yep, there
Christian
you go.
rapper. He said, no, I'm a YouTuber, right? You're not a legit YouTuber unless you have a diva ring light.
Oh yeah,
And
well,
I
you know,
think
I
I
got
seen you
mine.
had one.
You know what I'm saying? It's
Yeah.
right here. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if you can see that.
Wolverine. You're legit, dude. When I got mine, I've got mine right now, illuminating me. It totally brings out the quality of your camera. So that's really
Yeah.
cool. Like if you got an HD camera, you don't have a good light, you're not a good
Yeah.
YouTuber. Gotta
I
have
don't
that
know if
light.
it's
The
yeah, I don't have it
Wolverine.
on. This is my this is my reflector. That's shooting the light from in the garage. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah, you got that living light.
yeah,
I heard that, man. So,
there you go.
dude, welcome to the show, man. Famous YouTuber. Like I said, I talked to you before we went live. My daughter came in here and said hello. Me and my
Yes.
daughter's been watching your show with you and your family for the last couple months,
Yeah.
seeing your family grow and expand and the little trials and tribulations that you're going through,
Yes.
fathering, and it's I don't know if I would call it vlogging. It's kind of vlogging, but it's almost a reality show, man. What you're doing.
Yeah, man. I like when you asked me, you know, what do you introduce me as? And originally I said a storyteller,
Yeah.
because I'm realizing that I just want to tell stories, regardless if it's through hip hop or through YouTube or through books. Like I just want to be able to tell the story, anybody's story at any given time, and that's kind of the best thing I do when I even write. The best part is like when I start to do storytelling stuff. So yeah, man, I wouldn't say I'm a famous YouTuber, but I would say that I'm very serious about what I'm doing. You know what I'm saying? I'm very serious about it.
You're growing and the content's awesome, dude. There's not like the content's there. Stay
I
consistent
appreciate
with
that.
it, man, and you totally have a career in that. I know, I promoted my Patreon, and that's one thing that you're big on is promoting your Patreon too, is having the fans actually come on board and help you build this thing that you're creating, and kind of like organically you're kind of learning as you go, but the fans are on board with you, man. Talk a
Yeah.
little bit about how important Patreon is for somebody just starting out, like you know what I'm saying, you and me or any other creator out there.
Well, I mean, take it like in order for me to do like at first when I started doing videos, it took me like 40 hours to edit like a 7-minute video because I didn't know what I was doing. You know what I'm saying? And so now it takes me about 7, sometimes 4 hours, just depending on the content in the video. And you don't get paid for that, And so when people come to you over and over and over again and hit you with all this information and they're like, yo, what you do makes me feel like this, or I come here for this purpose or whatever, you realize like at a point, like, well, I'm sacrificing a lot to be doing this. You know what I mean? And so it's kind of like the give and take with hip hop, man. Like even when you're doing your writing and stuff like that, you spend so much time working on a project and you see so little return as financially, And so Patreon is a way that creators can get paid to create, And that's one thing I really love about Patreon is that it puts me in direct contact with the people who love me most. And love us most, my family. And so I have to be honest, like I need to be a better steward of my Patreon page and the people who support us and backing us monthly, because like, I'm at the point now where I'm like, okay, now I'm seeing a point where I can like kind of pay my mortgage off of this. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not there yet, but I'm close. And so I'm like, man, let's really like focus on the Patreon thing after I'm finished the album. So the album's done. It's been out for a couple of weeks now. And so I'm just trying to focus on the Patreon thing. So Patreon is a beautiful place for people to be just involved deeper. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, you do sacrifice for your dream, man. It takes a lot to build this. It's 7:18 my time. I've been up since 1:30 a.m. working. You know what I'm saying? I had a long day at work. I got to get up at like 1 o'clock in the morning. You know what I'm saying?
Respect.
But I wanted to make this happen, man, and that's part of what it is grinding and doing the extra hours. And speaking of grinding and the hours and the hard work you put in there and spend away from your family to make something beautiful happen. Like I was up, I think it was yesterday, and it said that you posted a video at 3:55 a.m.
Yeah.
So the grind is real, man. You're definitely grinding, dude. Staying up those long hours, doing what you got to do.
Yeah, well, like it's pretty intense. I'm going to be honest with you because, I really am a father. You know what I'm saying? So I take time out to spend with the family and like I'm taking care of things. So, my wife is breastfeeding, so she gets drained. You know what I mean? And so like I'm like the go-to guy anytime until about 5 a.m. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm waking up and going in there and figuring stuff out as I'm working. And so most of the time I start my day like in the studio 9 o'clock a.m. and then I'm in and out all day, and then I'll finally settle around 2 or 3 in the morning.
Yeah. I think the beautiful thing about it too, though, like what you're doing, because we did the family vlogging as well, and what's cool is that you're not only creating something beautiful and putting art out there into the world, but you're documenting your family. You know what I'm saying? So like years from now, weeks, months from now, when stuff goes on, life is hectic, you can look back at those videos, man, and be brought back to that moment, man. That's what's so powerful and beautiful about it. And I know you started when the kids were like, you know what I'm saying, real small. Like how long you been actually doing it?
I've been doing it since it's been about a year and a half. So October 19th, I officially put out my first episode, Beleaf In Fatherhood. I shot that episode sometime during the summer though. And so it took me a long time to edit it. It took me a long time. Like I got mad feedback, you know what I'm saying? People like, oh, it's too long, it's too short. Oh, I don't like this. Or you should do this. And then I just got to the point where I was like, you know what, man, I'm gonna just do what I want. And then everything else will follow through. You know, I'm not going to be concerned with what everyone else is doing. But yeah, it's been about a year and a half, man. It's been consistent work. It's been like discovering things. And so what happened was I started doing it. And then the second video I put out went viral on, somebody put it on Reddit. And so like Power 105 picked it up, a couple other different, companies picked it up or whatever. And it got like just like 100,000 views, you know what I'm saying? And I was like, man, that's a lot for your second video. And so what I felt like at that moment was like God was revealing the potential, you know what I'm saying, to me. Like, yo, if you continue to do this, like people are going to like it. You know, like people are interested in this. And I was like, okay, so that's all I needed to see. And so after that, it was about a year of complete grinding, like with no big looks. It just was like consistent. And then I had a video go viral on Facebook, and that's what kind of amped it up again. You know what I mean? And got me to about 5,000. And then I realized that Facebook is kind of the key. If I take those same videos from YouTube and put them on Facebook, then the potential of them to go viral is way easier on Facebook.
Yeah. Totally. Yeah, that's where I first seen you was on Facebook. A video. I don't know if I think you might have put some money behind that. I think it was sponsored. With an ad or something.
Maybe.
It was like a trailer video or something.
Yeah, it wasn't sponsored. That went viral organically.
Viral. Yeah. Yeah. That's what's up. Yes. Yeah, that's where I caught you and liked the page, and I think I commented on one of the videos, and then found it on YouTube, followed it. I am a Patreon supporter of you, man. We're definitely supporting. Man. So you know what I'm saying?
Wow, thank you.
Yeah, we're part of that journey with you guys.
That's crazy. I didn't know that. I'm like getting goosebumps now. I'm like, oh shoot, I'm talking to one of you.
I want to ask you about, you know what I'm saying, something that was really funny is when the kids were calling you Bob, man.
Yeah,
that
man.
Whole episode where they would just walk around the house, just, hey, Bob. It was hilarious, man. Go into a little bit of info on that.
I don't know where that comes from, man. Like, they're weird, man. Like, kids are just weird at this age, you know. You just never know what they're talking about. And so when they start talking, you have to kind of connect the dots, you know what I mean? So like we were at some event this recently, and then this girl was wearing like a tight dress, you know, but it looked like the dress from the main character of Hotel Transylvania. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if you've seen that show with her. Yeah. So like my son Uriah is like, I want to see Transylvania, the girl with the blue dress. I'm like, what are you talking about? And it's like this girl with this like real like seductive looking dress. I'm like, what is going on here? So the things that they relate to, it's just weird. So they always call me Bob because I have glasses and I'm bald. You know what I mean? And it's kind of embarrassing, but it's super cute too. You know what I'm saying?
That's kind of funny to us. That's kind of how like when you're janking on people in like middle school, how you give them nicknames or whatever. You see something that stands out, and then you just go in and that's their name. And so that's what kids are doing, just naming people as they go.
Yeah,
it's
man.
It's easier for them, man, like a frame of reference, you know?
Yeah, when I was helping out in like this junior high program after school, kids kept calling me Megamind. You know what I'm saying? Because my head was big and I just had one bald. Yeah. It's pretty embarrassing. But yeah, man, that's how it goes.
All right. Speaking
of, wait a minute. You met me through the videos. You never heard of the music?
No. Yeah. It was originally through the family video. I didn't know you were rapping.
Wow.
Yeah. So
you didn't know I did it. So you didn't know the Dream Junkies. You didn't know none of that.
None of it. I'm just now getting into it. Like I just seen that you were on JCTV. You know what I'm saying? So I seen that. So Yeah, I didn't know anything about that. So that's kind of like second. Like I'm into it, but like the family thing is what got me. You know what I'm saying? I'm a father.
That's crazy.
You know, so that's what kind of draws me. And to say that, like I want to ask you about your upbringing, man. Like, did you have a dad growing up? Was your dad in your life?
Yeah, so my mom and my dad weren't married. And so my dad, like right after I was born, not much later, my sister was born. And so he had like another girlfriend or whatever. And then they got married, they moved to California, got married. And so they had joint custody over me. So my mother and my father had joint custody. So in the summertimes I would come out to Cali, and I'm from Baltimore originally. You know what I'm saying? And so somebody would like fly me out to see him. Ever since I was 2, I go back and forth. And so, I think that he was trying to be a better father than he had, which wasn't really much of a dad. You know what I'm saying? So he was trying his hardest, but it wasn't like he was like, yo, I'm going to be the greatest dad ever. You know what I'm saying? He just was kind of like trying to get through it seems. I think now, like he has, he's like one of those people that's like, yo, I think my son should fear me. My kids should fear me. Healthy fear. Like that was, it was most about respect, most about fear. It wasn't about like safe haven, making sure I'm okay emotionally, physically. Like it just was like, do what you're told and stay out of the, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And so, no, I had a dad for sure. My dad is a great man. Like I love him. He's very well respected. However, like as far as like learning what kind of father to be, I wouldn't say that he is my inspiration. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But he's very like, now I look at him and I respect the man that he is, but I wasn't like in love with him as a dad. Like I just was like, man, I want you as much as I want you to want me as much as I want you. You know what I'm saying? Type thing. And so, I don't know, man. And but me and my mom had a really rough upbringing. So my mom was like 16 when she had me. Yeah. Like very like, emotionally unstable and, which led to a lot of like anger issues on her part and, abuse, you know what I'm saying? And if you ask her, she'd be like, I never abused you. But it was a lot of times when like, it didn't have to go as far as she took it. You know what I'm saying? And so I would wake up, like I had PTSD, you know what I'm saying? Like even at like 19, I'd wake up like flinching, like someone was going to kick in the door and hit me. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah, that's what I was mentioning at the beginning when I put out a little book and I put some of that stuff in there about my childhood and my upbringing. I'm just writing. And my mom read it and she had suppressed all that stuff like it didn't happen. Like you're saying, they don't remember that. They suppress it. And I tell you what's crazy is that like I went through a lot of counseling as a believer, like, you know what I'm saying? Like deliverance counseling and you know what I'm saying, just like walking through forgiveness and dealing with the fear, dealing with the anger and giving it to the Lord and him feeling it, taking it. And that's what we have with Jesus, man. But you know what I'm saying? Everybody isn't at that level. And sometimes people have to just suppress it and forget about it and act like it didn't happen and push it down. And I'm telling you, man, when my mom read some of those stories about like, you know what I'm saying, the whippings and the beatings and like, you know what I'm saying, people coming over to the house that we didn't know and having to learn, you know what I'm saying, how to grow up on our own. My mama, she straight had a panic attack, man. She couldn't breathe and was crying and it was deep, man. It was really deep. But that's one thing about, man, just being able to like deal with those fears and cope with the PTSD. I got a friend of mine's probably watching. He was beat up by his brothers like his whole life. His brothers were like 20 years older than him. And they would beat him up and slap him around and he would flinch anytime he would shake in their presence, you know. And that's just like the PTSD, man. It's like the, you know what I'm saying, like the psychological effect that trauma has on a person, man. You know what I'm saying, even from an early age, you know.
Yeah, well, the thing is too about that is like, you know, my children have their own story to tell. You know what I mean? When they get old enough to formulate their own thoughts and they can say, you know, what I do to them becomes their story. It's no longer mine anymore. You know what I'm saying? So my mother could be like, yo, I don't want you telling people that, and that's not right. And but I'm like, yo, that's no longer yours. Like, that's a part of my story. That's a part of who I am. And so, you know, it takes a long time to remember that your identity isn't what was done to you, you know, because like, you know, when people ask me who I am, I'd say, you know, black kid from Baltimore, you know what I'm saying? I was abused by my mom, and my dad wasn't around enough. Like, those things that happened to me become my identity, and that's not really what it is. You know, who I am is what I do with those things, you know what I'm saying? Not what was done to me. And so that takes a long time and a lot of like growing up to do, because it was hard, you know, like, you know, getting married, and my wife's like, yo, I want your mom to be this and this and this close to us. And I'm like, man, I'm really uncomfortable with that. You know what I'm saying? And so, you know, everybody else's truth is like, yo, that's not who your mom is. And so it helped me because like my brother went through the same thing, and I was able to like be kind of like, you know, a person that he can, you know, lean on, you know what I mean, during that time.
Yeah. Yeah. Some of the hard things to go through. So that's why I was going to ask you, like, being a father, being a role model, teaching the kids, like some of the stuff that you're learning from your kids, which is beautiful too, because you're sharing that with the viewer. Like, some of that stuff we learn, we just keep it to ourselves, but you're actually sharing it with us, man. You know what I'm saying? Some of the different things that you're seeing. But like with like, you know, having that strong father figure that I guess you said wasn't there. So you're kind of having to learn how to be a father, right? Like, there's no like a guide there for you. Like, this is how you do it. You've seen the way I did it, and this is it. Well,
I mean, like, you know, God has characteristics that show me what type of human to be.
Yeah.
Jesus, you know, is a great example of the type of humans we're supposed to be. And so with that as a image to look forward to, I can take those same characteristics and apply them to any relationship. You know what I'm saying? So like, you know, as far as like me, like even me, like having like a short temper, right? I have a short temper. So I know that whenever my son does something, I have to immediately like fall back, you know what I mean? And then assess the thing and be like, okay, like I know that I've done things like this to God, you know what I'm saying? Where I've like tried to hide things or whatever. And it's okay that he does these things. He's a child. And I have to like go through the things. But it's like, yeah, man, like you don't have those examples until you see them. Right. And so I have you know, my pastor, he's my pastor now, but he's always been like a friend of mine or whatever. So he was the first like healthy marriage I've ever seen. You know what I'm saying? Which inspired me to want to get married. So, you know, like back in Baltimore, when one of the homies got like, you know, they impregnated somebody, it was like, oh man, I'm so sorry to hear that, man. Like, you know, it sucks, man. You're going to be all right, though. I'm here for you if you need anything. You know what I'm saying? And so to think about how like crazy that thought is, I needed to see the proof of a healthy marriage before I wanted to be married. And the same thing with being a father. Yeah. And so I realized that my homie Pat, that's the proof for me that you can be a father, you know what I'm saying, and a husband. He has 6 daughters, you know what I mean? And I was just like, man, like I want to be that for other people, not an example, but proof. And so we are the proof that it's possible. And even as believers, like we are proof that people can be in a relationship with God. We are proof that people can be, that people can forgive and move on relationships and reconcile with our mothers and our fathers who've done us wrong, or sisters or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So we have to be the proof. And that's kind of what the staple of Beleaf in Fatherhood is that it's the proof.
Mm-hmm. That's deep, man. That's like the crazy thing about it is like when I wrote that book, like at the end, it ended on a good note about how like, you know what I'm saying, my relationship with my mom is something beautiful now, and now I can hug her and tell her I love her and actually mean it. And like it ended on a good story, like, you know what I'm saying, like a happy ending, but she never got to finish it, you know what I'm saying?
She never got to make it to that point.
So she thinks I got this book out there that's like degrading her and stuff, man. So
how are you guys now? Are you guys talking or?
Yeah, but it's there, man. It's there. Like we talk, but it's there, you know what I'm saying? She talks to my sister and everybody about it, you know, so
it's so weird. Like I don't even know, and I'm having a hard time with that too, man, because I got some music that's like, yo, this is like really good stuff. You know what I'm saying? But it's exposing a lot of that stuff. And I'm like, I don't want, because me and my mom's relationship is kind of reconciling, we're getting close again. I don't want to do anything to rock it. But at the same time, as a creative, I'm like, yo, nothing's going to stop me from being creative. You know what I'm saying? I wrote this song years ago with theBREAX, the group I was in before. And it was called Alive. And it was about how my mother, everybody wanted my mother to abort me, but she didn't. You know what I'm saying? And I was thanking her. Your mother didn't make it to the end of the book. My mother didn't make it to the end of that song. You know what I'm saying? She was like, you're telling people that I did it. And it's like, yo, we rather appear perfect. Yeah. And that's what I'm like, yo, I'd rather not appear perfect. So I'm going to expose myself via YouTube. Yeah, I messed up. You're going to see that. You know what I'm saying? You're going to see that on the show. You're going to see that in any situation. But I'd rather just be honest, you know, and not let people think that I'm this great father. You know what I'm saying? Because I really am a douchebag. Like I really am, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. It's good that people know that.
Yeah. That's where the grace comes in, man. You're talking walking in that image. You said a mouthful, though, there about having Jesus and God to kind of be that guide or that role model for you, man, when like a lot of people have no idea what you're talking about. Like for me and you, we could roll that around. Yeah, man, you know what I'm saying? He's the example. It's almost a blessing for those, like a secret blessing for those who grew up without a father, because God says, I will be a father unto the fatherless. So you can know him in this most intimate way of which I've had to know him, right? You know what I'm saying? He basically took me in as a father and taught me all the things that I had no idea how to do, right? And teaches me daily. So, but that's something that a lot of people don't have, people who have grown up without fathers, man. So that's one thing. So it's like anybody listening who is fatherless, or you had a father in the picture, you felt like he wasn't there, you know what I'm saying? Just know that there's love and grace that flows from the throne of God to you, man, that he loves you and he just embraces you and wants you to look at him as your father, man. Let him love on you, man. So if anybody needs prayer, we definitely want to open the phone lines up as well. If anybody has any questions, we definitely want to make that known too. We'll get to some of them at the end of the episode. The numbers are scrolling at the bottom of the screen and in all of the links as well. So hit us up if anybody has a question for Beleaf or myself. We'll definitely jump on that. You talked a little bit a while ago about people having opinions and you should do things this way and do things that way. There's a level that you have to cross, and it still messes with you, no doubt. But I want to talk to you about the trolls, man, because I was watching that live stream when some of those comments came through that particular night, and I seen the countenance of your face and your wife's face when y'all seen them, just like your wife was like sick to her stomach. She excused herself. She didn't want to be a part of it, and I guess that was a bridge you had to cross at that moment. I'm not sure if it was then. It's a steady bridge, man, because there's levels to this stuff.
Yeah, it definitely gets worse.
Yeah, it totally gets worse. But so I guess just talk a little bit about that, because anybody wanting to do anything online, those people are out there, man, and their criticism carries weight sometimes. You know what I'm saying? We take it to heart because we're already insecure a lot of times, and then we listen to what these people have to say. Man, talk a little bit about the trolls and some of the comments and things you've been seeing.
Yeah, well, you know, like when you're doing something that's meant for good, or you're doing something that you think is powerful, or people are getting like they're growing from, there's always going to be an opportunity for you to be distracted. And I think that's what you have to realize is that, like everybody, like people are so unhappy or so irritated or whatever, or like anybody has a freaking computer or ability to sign on. So like, you know, I have an uncle, right? Or I'll say this. I have people in my life, you know what I mean? I'm not gonna put that uncle on blast, but I have people in my life who, you know, are in like the worst relationships of their life. They can't tie their shoes. They can't do anything right. You know what I mean? But they have a computer. So that same person can go online and say something stupid. And that doesn't mean I should value what they're saying. Yeah. So we just have to understand how focused we have to be in order to accomplish big things. The enemy is going to try at small things at first. So like calling me the N-word, that really doesn't bother me. Like, that type of thing doesn't bother me. Now, when you talk about my kids, that bugs me. But I still have to remember, like, what the main goal is, you know, because when you put your business out there online, it's kind of like the nature of the beast. Like, you got to know what you're getting yourself into. And so some people are like, yo, you should know better. Like, I got into an argument on YouTube to the comment section because somebody said something. They were like, you should apologize to her. And I don't appreciate that. And I'm like, look, I don't care about your view. Like, I'm only here for people who rock with it. You know, if you don't rock with it, if you're mad because I said this and this and this, fine, you don't have to watch. But the point is that we really have to focus on what's most important, and other people's opinions aren't. What matters is if we're glorifying God with our work. The truth is, I believe that without a doubt that God is getting the glory in what I'm doing. You know what I'm saying? And even when I'm doing a crappy job at it, or I mess up, or I make a mistake or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Like, God is getting the glory. I see the fruit, and nobody could change that. You know what I mean? So I would just say to anybody who really wants to get into internet work that, you know, you should really have thick skin. You know what I'm saying? Like, not only have thick skin, but realize that everybody who's saying those things about you, they believe that. Like, people believe, like, the first time I went viral, right? That time I got like 100K, right? People were like, this dude's going to leave his family in a week.
Yeah.
But the truth is, those people really believe that. So at first I was upset. I was mad. I got really angry, righteous anger. But then I got sad for them because I'm like, yo, this is what you believe is true. And so I have to change your mind. Like, my responsibility as a believer, as a creative, I'm going to change your mind, and I'm going to prove you wrong.
Yeah, that's the weird thing dealing with the trolls and seeing who, like, is worthy of the, you know what I'm saying, the attention, I guess, because some people have criticism that's good, and we should learn from criticism that's good, and we should see ourselves through the eyes of others at times, and so we don't kind of build this cloud and this is our reality and this is it. So to kind of step back, am I being a douchebag? Am I being a good Christian? Am I example? In my mind, I'm a good example, but if I see it from their point of view, like, so some people have good criticism, but it's hard to find out and say, okay, are you just trying to argue with me, or do you have my greater good in mind? Like, what am I gonna get out of this conversation that you're trying to engage in, and or are you trolling? You know what I'm saying? Because you get a lot of that stuff. You get a lot of that stuff.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta accept it all. Like, you know, the one thing I remember Andy Mineo told me, he was like, yo, like, if I believe everything good they're saying about me, you know what I'm saying? I have to believe everything bad. You know what I mean? Like, I have to take the good with the bad. Like, so I'm not going to find identity in the good stuff or the bad stuff. I'm going to find identity in Christ, right? And I'm going to take everything else as it comes. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, man.
Those dudes went through it. You know what I'm saying, with the whole sacred secular divide thing with Lecrae and Andy as well. Well, I guess I can't remember, but I think he tweeted and said a curse word, a profanity or something in a tweet, and it made a lot of people mad or whatever. But those dudes definitely, you know what I'm saying, went through it. And to read the comment sections of Christians, man, the Christians who come out and do that stuff makes you not want to deal with CHH or Holy Hip-Hop or whatever. Like, seeing the way that these dudes will chew you up and spit you out and move on to the next one that's a scary thing to be, man, a place to be at, and a lot of us are there. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I'm gonna be honest with you, bro.
Yeah.
I've been doing, you know, CHH for like 10 years.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I wrote some stuff on Andy's album. I've collabed with almost everybody. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
I've been doing it for a while, and I've noticed how, like, unmerciful the Saints can be.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And so I put myself in a position that, like, I know I'm already slept on. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know I'm good, but I know I'm slept on. And so I've been taking that. I've been happy people slept on me this much, because I still can do the YouTube stuff, and I can transition, and I won't get, like, the chance, you know what I'm saying, the picket signs. Because these dudes are going at, like, even my little brother, like John Gibbs, like, you know, that dude, like, you know, he gets the worst comments ever. You know what I'm saying? He never claimed to be a Christian rapper, but he you know, you're the son of the devil. You're like, who are you? Like, how are you going to tell somebody via his Instagram that he's a son of Satan? You know what I'm saying? Like, you crazy. Like, these people are crazy, man. So like, yeah, man, I'm not rocking with it, bro. Like, and you know, you asked me like, yo, would you call yourself Christian hip hop? And I would say no. I would say I'm very far from Christian hip hop. If you listen to my latest album, it doesn't sound like any Christian hip hop album you've ever heard. And when you say the word, and you know, I don't like to make a big deal about this, but when you say Christian hip hop, it implies that it's only for Christian.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Exactly,
because it is. Even though they know, man, I make music for the streets. No, man, like this. Here's the whole thing from a marketing standpoint, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Christians will go out and buy a Lil Wayne CD, right? But secular people aren't going to go out and buy the Lecrae CD. You're not going to see somebody riding through town or riding through the trap bumping Lecrae. Man, it's that new Cray. You ain't on it, and they it's
rare. It's rare. It's small circumstances where it happens.
Yeah, now just because he's on a feature.
Right.
But you know what I'm saying. But as far as like a marketing standpoint, you are putting yourself in a box because. And then those moments that you do pull the Lecrae and you want to talk about social injustice, your heritage, whatever the case is, they you know what I'm saying, blowing the whistle. You can't do it. If every song is not about the death, burial, and resurrection of Jesus, then they don't want to hear it. And
someone hit me with that. They were like, yo, I spit a verse on Black Knight's album. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And it was called the song was called "I'm Coolin'" or something like that. And then people were like, this one dude said, "Yo, Beleaf, this is fire, man. You can rap, but where's the Jesus at, bro? You don't put enough Jesus in your rhymes." You know what I'm saying? And I was like, "Hey, man, like if I said Jesus, it would only be for the benefit of you because I know you would buy it." Now that's turning Jesus into a bar. Yeah. And my God isn't a bar. Yeah. Like my God is a master, and He's the Lord of my life. He's not a punchline.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So like that's the secret to all this is that a lot of people put more Jesus in their rhymes so they can get more bookings by the youth groups. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like that's how it goes.
I've been there, done that, and got chewed up and spit out.
Yeah.
With it all. You know what I'm saying? So I totally know. And I learned a lot through it. You know what I'm saying? But it's a weird thing, and it's hurt so many people because there's so many people involved in it. I got so many friends who essentially don't want much to do with God because of I got dudes who have seen what I went through, and they just watched it from the back, and they're like, you know what, man, I see what they do. I see what they did to Cray. I see what they did to you. Man, I can't fool with these church folks like that no more, man. I was like, hey, I didn't tell you that. You said that you're on your own, but it's the real deal, man.
Thanks.
It's crazy, you know. But a lot of people go through it. But we're in a weird place right now. We're in a good place, and there's many people who are unchurched, who love God with all their heart. There's many people who are meeting in homes to do church and to have Bible study, prayer and worship, you know what I'm saying, with one another, gathering. Yeah. And we're in a weird place right now. There's a lot of we're in a transition. Like I've been away from church for so long. It's weird to go to church now. Like I've been out of the system. So to go and to see the fake smiles and to the handshakes and the hugs and hey, bro, you know, all that. It's really weird to be pulled back into it because I've studied the psychology behind it all, essentially. You know what I'm saying? The groups and the cliques and stuff like that. So it's really weird to actually be a part of that, man, and to go and see it. But a lot of people are speaking up, though. They're like, look, I'm not a part of that, but I'm a believer. It's not about how much you can say Jesus, but essentially you being someone whose life has been transformed by the gospel, and you're going out into the world loving, you know what I'm saying, on the world and just being that light. Essentially that's what we're supposed to be versus going to churches seeing who can, you know, get the crowd the hypest or whatever, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man. And that's why like I'm really over like rap. Like, I mean, I said I put out my last album, like I'm really over that. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, I don't even want to do no more shows. Like I'm just like, man, like so much of this seems so fake to me. You know what I mean? Like where hip hop has been that. I don't know if you heard the record that I just put out. Did you hear it?
Some of it. I haven't listened to the whole thing. No.
So like the record is basically like it's like breaking up with hip hop. Like she's a woman that I've been like seeing on the side for years. You know what I'm saying? And basically it's how it always felt, to where I kind of had to prove to my wife, like I loved her more than the art, you know? And I'm just over it, man. Like, it's just so crazy and weird. And like, you guys realize, like, where's the destination? You know what I'm saying? Like, where are you going to end up? Like, after you put out a record and it does great, then what? You know, there's no retirement plan, you know? And so like hip hop is made from adversity. And so when you put yourself, if you're not in an adverse life and you put yourself in an adverse situation, it's showing that you're choosing to be in a rough, you know, like you're choosing to be on that. But some people like to chase, and I respect that. Yeah, man, I just can't rock with it no more, man. I'm so excited about YouTube. I'm so excited about the videos and all that stuff that's happening, man. It's just like, you can't move me right now.
Man, I enjoy the art. I enjoy art, period. I enjoy taking something, creating it, birthing it into this reality that it didn't exist. And that could be this podcast. This didn't exist. It could be clothing, articles, T-shirts, merchandise, music. I love my music. It's beautiful. I try to be different, creative, but for something that you want to pursue, like, okay, once I have that album, then what? What do you do? Because like, if you're not going to tour with it, and if you have a family, that's you pretty can't. If you have to pay to keep these lights on, you pretty much can't do that. Leave your family and go tour and try to make money. So like the money that you get back, like you were saying at the beginning, the only money that you really get back is your pre-order. Like if you're doing a pre-order and you're promoting that for 2-3 months, whatever you sell on that pre-order is like the only bulk that you're getting. After that, you're going to get some money through iTunes. It could be anywhere from $50 to $600, $700, $800, something like that for an independent artist. And that's doing really good with like iTunes residuals and YouTube monetization with the money and stuff like that. As far as with the music goes, that's a whole nother thing. But like, so that's why I think it's awesome where Patreon comes in, that those who really support your music and want to hear new music, because essentially if it's about the money, like paying for beats, paying for studio time, paying for video editing, paying for all that stuff that it takes to put into it, you really don't make it back from your art. Like you really don't. You're gonna make some money back, but you don't make that money back that you have to put into it. And not to really throw anybody under the bus, but I had a dude a fan hit me up yesterday, and he was like, "Hey man, will you send me a link to your album so I can download it?" I said, "Dude, I just told you that you can download my entire discography for $5 on Patreon.
Yeah.
My entire discography and new songs that ain't even out yet.
Yeah.
And you trying to get it for free?" I said, "Bro, if you can't, I'm straight up, if you can't afford $5, you're doing something wrong, man. Like you're doing something wrong. If you don't respect the music enough to do that, you're doing something wrong, man." You know, and that's not to say if somebody's on disability or they got something going on with them, they can't work. Yeah. But even then, I know folks doing that. They hustling on the internet.
Yeah, man.
Selling websites and stuff. Like people, you know what I'm saying? You got to get it how you live for real. But
exactly,
if you want to see anything, whatever creator you see online right now, whether they are on YouTube and they're a creator like Beleaf, like myself making music, anybody that you're into, I don't care if it's FouseyTube, any of these guys online, like get behind them and support them, even financially. Like do what you can, because every little bit helps. Trust me, every little bit helps, especially when you got a family. If it was just me, like I could go and not eat or whatever the case is and live with people or whatever. That's not the case, man. We got children, we got families. So if you love the art, support your favorite creators, man, whatever they're making. Buy their albums, share their music, all that good stuff, man. It goes so far. It does.
You're right, man. I really appreciate how focused you are on that relationship, man. I mean, I just have to get better. The hard part for me is like I'm really one guy, you know? Yeah. And so in the long run, like I've had some issues with the community I was around, to where like I had to be the glue in order to finish my record. You know what I'm saying? I had to hold down the family and consistently put out the videos.
Yeah.
So now the music's kind of like off to the side where I still have to promote it. I know that I could do it from my living room. I could do it from my house. I could just put it underneath the videos. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But like right now, it's like, it's so much. Like doing YouTube for a time, like if this is what it looks like it's a lot of work, bro.
Yeah.
Like it's crazy. You know what I'm saying? And so I've been like blessed enough to be in a situation where I'm ambassador for Best Buy. And so they now send me stuff that I have to review.
Yeah, that case you got, we just bought that case the other day, man. That's review that case.
Yeah, man. Yeah, that Life Proof case ain't no joke.
Yeah,
you know
my wife loves it. Yeah.
Yeah, and so we got like I got other things to like review and put up and talk about. But it's like it's a lot of work, yo. It's really a grind, and all of us are out here trying to get it, man. And it's like, I don't know, man. Like I feel like I'm in a good position, but at the same time, like I'm so hungry. I have the MC's competitiveness.
That's good.
You know what I'm saying? To where it's like, how MCs are like, yo, I'll murk you on a record.
Yeah.
I don't care. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like that's how I feel about YouTube.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like give me the ball and I'm gonna score.
Yeah.
We'll see, man.
Yeah. So, I guess if we're staying on the music and kind of incorporating that with the YouTube, a lot of stuff you're kind of making like, the jingles and the segments and stuff like that, for the show too. And you're actually rapping over it and stuff too. That's really cool. Are you going to keep doing that? You're going to keep incorporating that? Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah. I'm going That's
to
just who you are, man.
Yeah, I mean, like I'm always gonna rhyme. The patrons that get most of the music, you know what I'm saying, that didn't make the album and all that stuff, get all that stuff for free. But like I'm gonna continue to make music, and I wanna be as creative as possible. I have to learn how to produce. I'm realizing I can't rely on a lot of producers, and or I have to train up the ones that I actually know. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I'm like really excited to create more jingles and stuff like that, redo books, the Cat in the Hat or something like that, like spit the whole book, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
As a bedtime story and stuff, like just creative stuff where I could just think out of the box. It's incredible, man. It's incredible to know, just like you said, like art, creating something, and how I could take like a moment with my son and turn that into something that goes viral. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's insane to me.
Yeah. Kind of bring it back to the family a little bit. My daughter had a question. She wanted to know, like, what's the difference and how drastic of a change is it from having the one kid to now having 3 children? Like, what's the change? Because I know they say, like, the first one, like, you're real, you're real delicate, scared. I remember whenever we had my daughter, they left us in the hospital, and they left us in the room, and if we had to change the diaper, we called him and it was like, how do we change the diaper? Like, how do we do this, And, but they say the second one, you just grab it up and throw them around. It's just like, I learned how to do this. So what's the contrast there, man? I think it's hard. The first one, you think you're overwhelmed. You think it's you think delicate.
You're losing it. Yeah, very delicate. You're like, oh my gosh. And the second one's like, man, yo, he just ate a roach off the floor. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I mean? Like stuff like that. Like, it's not that we don't care. It's just that we know he's not going to die if he falls, know? Where the first one was like, oh my goodness, baby, are you okay? But we're having a third one being a girl because we're more delicate with her. Mm-hmm. But it's definitely, life is completely out of whack. Like we're totally overwhelmed with 3, So I'm like, yo, I don't know if it could get any harder if we have another one, you know what I'm saying? But I believe that it will get harder, So I've been like flirting with the thoughts of vasectomies, you know what I'm saying? Because like I literally like, okay, so you have one child, you get to know that one child is great. You have that child and your wife, you put the baby down to sleep, you get enough quality time. But when you have 2, you got to schedule them at the same time, and then it's a lot more like fluctuating. You got different ages, you got different food. Like, one baby doesn't like to eat something, the other baby doesn't eat. So a third person in. You know what I'm saying? It's like, okay, I don't even remember my wife, like the color of my wife's eyes. Like I haven't stopped and paid attention that much, And so I think the hardest part about it is that like, me and you are talking right now, but if somebody else was in this chat, we would get to know each other a lot less because we'd have to entertain another perspective. You know what I'm saying? And that's the same way it is with family. Like you have to spend one-on-one time with each kid, with your wife or whatever, And so, it creates a lot of different challenges. So yes, it is hard. And I'm glad for it though. Like, it's making me a better person for sure, but it's also completely overwhelming. You know what I mean? And I'm just being honest because like right now it's like, you know, right now, like as I'm talking to you, I'm thinking about what's going to have for dinner. You know what I'm saying? Cause I'm the cook, you know what I'm saying? And my wife cooks sometimes too, but most of the time I cook. And so like, I got to think about what she's going to eat, what they're going to eat. And then I'm like, okay, what time are they all going to go to bed so I can get back in here and work? Cause I got stuff to finish. You know what I mean? So it's just always juggling. And so, you know, every man is juggling three things, you know, his marriage, his marketplace, and his ministry. You know what I'm saying? And so everyone's like, yo, how do you balance it all? And the thing is, you don't. You know, you juggle. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you're holding on to your marriage, you're holding on to your ministry, but then your marketplace is flipped and then you let that go and you keep, you know what I'm saying? And so it's like, it's always like something could be failing and you got to pick it up. So it's just an adjustment.
Yeah. Totally get that, man. Let's see. I had a couple more questions. Okay. Another question I want to ask you is, who is your favorite YouTuber? Like, who are you watching on YouTube and kind of learning from and getting pointers from and stuff like that? Like, who's kind of inspiring you right now on YouTube?
Casey Neistat.
Okay, he's like one of the biggest ones now.
Yeah, he's the GOAT. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's greatest of all time. Like, I never really watched YouTube until basically what happened was I put out my first album, Red Pills. Yeah. And one of the homies was like, man, like, you're really funny. You're really like interesting. And that album was really depressing. You know what I'm saying? It was talking about depression. It was talking about suicide. It was like really, really real. Yeah. Use, like, it was dark. A lot of people loved it though, but people were like, yo, like, you got to show people that it's a brighter side to you. And so I was like, what? And they were like, yeah, man, those videos you put up your kids, you put those on YouTube. And everyone kept telling me that. And I was like, I don't know. Cause they saw it on Instagram. Yeah. And then someone showed me Casey Neistat's videos. And I was like, oh, cause I saw other blogs, like vlogs before. And I was like, this is corny. You know what I'm saying? They're like, yeah, we're going to Walmart and we're going to go get some popcorn. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's how videos looked. Yeah. Like, man, this is horrible. And then I saw Casey Neistat. He sits the camera down, walks out of the room, turn off all the lights, walk back into the room just to get the shot. And I was like, that's the type of effort I want to put in. You know what I'm saying? No, dude, man. He's a beast. Dude, hands down, you know what I'm saying? Hats off to what you're doing. Dude, I noticed that stuff. I do my own, you know what I'm saying, video editings and stuff too. So I get that stuff. I was like, man, how do you get that? How do you get that shot way over there? He just not getting the kids out the car, but it's perfect, man. Doing all that for the shot, like, it's really cool stuff what you're doing. All the little stuff you're putting into your videos is really good. It's good for the views. It's good for the viewers. It makes them feel like a little bit warmer, you know. Yeah. I watch him. I watch Gary Vaynerchuk because I think he is. Yeah. Oh yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, I wonder about him though. I love him, but is he kind of like, I made it up and it's just, I'm just going, I am the greatest, you know what I'm saying? Like, I am the dude. It's like, cause like online, you kind of create what you want to be. You put it out there, you walk in it, you speak it, you tell people, you make business cards, you're it. Everybody knows it. He's a good speaker because we've seen some of his stuff, you know, 8 years ago or so. He looked totally different. His demeanor's different. He's a totally different guy to now this, you know, going guy who's got all this witty stuff. So I kind of wonder about that. I love his content, don't get me wrong, but part of me is like, is he a character? Because there's so many of them out there. There's so many of them out there. What do you think? Well, we're all characters, man. We're all characters. Like, I'll put it to you like this: right now I'm chilling. If you see me on stage, I'm a totally different person. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, yeah. It's like you have to be an exaggerated version of yourself. Yeah. I don't know about him. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? My thing is that he motivates me business wise. He has me thinking in areas that I wasn't. You know how like you trying to in the house and you can't get that little corner with the desk in it. Yeah. He like helps me focus on that little corner. You know what I mean? Yeah. And so one thing that he says that I love is that, you know yourself. You know, self-awareness. Make sure you know yourself. Don't try to be the greatest at things that you suck at. Hire someone else to do it. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I know that I'm horrible at administration. That's why, like, I'm not. I'm trying to keep more in touch with the patrons because I know that, like, they're my ticket. Like, they're my success right there. That's success. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But I'm trying to touch them, but I can't because I'm like, yo, video, patron, video. You know what I'm saying? Like, I got to go back to the drawing board. And so he helps me figure out that I need someone else to be like, yo, can you please send that email? Can you please follow up with me? Can you please take this off?
I'm looking
drop
for,
this off.
It's hard to find that person though, especially with like your budget right now. It's not really there, but you kind of needs to be there. You kind of would rather do without some of the income to have that person doing that marketing, creating the YouTube videos, the live events, or whatever you got going on. I'm right there with you. You know what I'm saying? Like, I need somebody, but it's like they want money. It's like, you know, it's kind of it's like a percentage thing. Like if I make money, you make money type deal. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And so before I would think, man, I really need to get better at administration. Now I feel like I could just be a creative. Someone else who's better at it needs to do it for me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, that's my thought process now. And so he helps me see that. Other couple YouTubers that I watch is Maisley. I've been doing stuff with them lately. They're amazing. It's an Asian guy, black female. They're married and they have like 6 kids and they have an incredible story. And so they kind of took me under their wing and just like, you know, they have like 200,000 subscribers or something like that. And they're like, hey,
that's always fun.
Yeah. And so they're like, hey, this is what you need to be thinking about. And so they're asking me, they're like, yo, you know, he said to me, Joe from Maisley was like, yo, your page is like nothing we've ever seen before. And I was like, what? Because, you know what I'm saying? Like, I only got 20,000 subscribers and he's got 200,000. You know what I'm saying? And he's telling me this. What he's saying is that, like, yo, you're on track to becoming like one of the best YouTubers. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And I was like, oh, shoot. Okay. So now it kind of got me looking, my countenance is different. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel more confident, you know, when I step into the room, even though my numbers are really low. I know that I know what I am. You know what I'm saying?
You know what's coming.
I know what's coming. You know, I could see it. Mm-hmm. And I never could see it before, bro. This is the first time in my life that I've been the guy that people are asking advice. You know what I'm saying? Like, not you know, people ask me advice about relationships and stuff like that, but like business, creative advice. You know what I'm saying? Like, people who, you know, were the big homies before, like, yo, can you help me out with this? I have an idea. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, it's really weird. It's different, but I love it, you know? Yeah. And so I feel like I have way more responsibility now. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I totally know where that's at, man. Maybe you can move into the place too, I guess, if the money's right, where you do some consultation and stuff like that. I know there's a lot of people who are like independent YouTubers and, you know what I'm saying, motivational speakers and stuff who actually do that. And if you want to learn to do what I'm doing, if you need help in this area, not the homeboys or whatever, but people from the outside, because they're coming. People want to do what you're doing. People want to do what we're doing right now. And so, you know what I'm saying, to kind of set up consultations and charge for it, man. I've seen a lot of people do that, and a lot of independent people on YouTube and podcasting make the majority of their money by helping other people do what they're doing, you know?
Yeah. And that's another one I wanted to do, was the online course, you know, Udemy type thing. You know what I'm saying? And I want to figure out how to do it. I don't know what my subject is going to be on. You know, I don't know if it should be on YouTube or whatever. Yeah. But I think it's kind of too early to start casting in on stuff like that. Like, I feel like I have to be a little bit greater. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I think.
Well, I mean, if the number's right, though. You know what I'm saying? Not if you're just doing it for chump change and it's taking too much time. But if the number's right that you can kind of put towards what you're building, that would be dope. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you could take that money and put that towards the ad revenue or something to kind of reach all these potential new people and kind of feed back into what you're already doing type deal, you know?
Yeah.
Because I know how the YouTube money is too, man. You know what I'm saying?
Very scarce.
It is. I will tell you this, from one YouTuber to the next, and I think this, you know what I'm saying, the more studying you do, people know it's like the longer videos you do, if you can keep them there on your video for a long time, you make more money. So if you do get into podcasting or do some type of interviews like this one-on-one with other YouTubers, fathers, entrepreneurs, whatever the case is, the ad revenue goes up a lot. So versus just getting, you know what I'm saying, the one view or whatever. That's part of it. I've been doing this for years as well. So, you know what I'm saying? All my channels just got shut down though, man. They just pulled all my channels. Yeah, man.
Why?
Copyright strikes, and I had several channels, man, and anything that had my email affiliated with it, and I was running some other people's, like, they made me an admin and it pulled it when they made me an admin to other people's huge channels with like 400,000 views on their music videos and everything. Like legit, they pulled their channels, man.
What?
Yeah, man, it sucks. Yep. I'm just trying to rebuild after that. Yep. All my family vlogging stuff, man. My daughter, we had a reaction channel for her. 300,000 views, man, on her first video. 300,000 views doing an Annabelle reaction. Her and her little friends.
Yeah.
Kids react to scary movies. I would show them scary movie trailers, let them react, and they don't watch it. They were freaked out, making crazy faces.
That's a really good idea.
It went viral, man. And but yeah, the reaction videos are something big too, though. A lot of people are doing that. So everybody's, it's kind of getting played out. It's so many people are doing it. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out like creative ways to do stuff like you saw the Life Proof case. You know what I'm saying? Like people do reviews. I don't know how many people bring their kids on. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm trying to figure out creative ways to implement this stuff.
Yeah,
it's hard, you know, but it's definitely like I don't want to be like because you know when I go to places like ClamorCon, I'm like, hey, what do you do? Oh, like I do family, you know, like videos and stuff like that. Oh, what do you do? I do reaction vlogs. You know what I'm saying? And then you go to their page and it's like everything looks the same. Like it's just I'm not interested. You know what I'm saying? And so when I hit you, when you open a video from Beleaf in Fatherhood, you know it's going to be different. You know, something that it's rare that you'll see like.
Dude, I like how you make your edits on your cuts with the beat as the beat changes. Bump, 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 bump. Dude, I love it when you change it. That's dope, man.
Thanks, man. I appreciate that, bro.
As far as getting back to music, I guess I had another question for you about musical influences, man. Who's the GOAT, man? Hip hop.
Ooh, that's really hard, man.
All time. Now, I'm not talking about right now. We got a lot of good people right now, but even all time, like, who would you give it to, man?
All time? That's such a
top three, man.
Okay,
who's your top three? Put it that way.
My top three are Black Thought. I have a very sentimental connection with that dude.
Yeah.
I really love Big L. Huge Big L fan.
Yeah.
And third, I think 3 Stacks.
Yeah.
Those are like my top three. I think Black Thought, I found his tape. I found a Black Thought tape on the way to school in 8th grade. I was walking to school. I missed a bus and I was walking with my head down. It was a long walk. And I walked by and I saw this tape and I was like, man, this is probably some trash. At the time I was listening to like Master P, No Limit, Make Him Say, you know what I'm saying? And so I'm looking down, I pick up this joint. It said Proceed, right?
Yeah.
It was green. I opened up, I put the joint in my tape, my Walkman, and then I heard, because I was suicidal at this point. I'm in middle school. And the first line off this record was, just think, what if you could just blink yourself away? And I was just like, oh, man, it hit me like right here. And ever since then, Black Thought has been my favorite MC. He follows me on Twitter. Like I'm very like excited about that.
Yeah.
He's a beast, bro. I mean, like he says words, like the way he raps is like they were created for him to say it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like he has a very like, oh, this word was invented for me to speak it at this moment. Like that's why I love that dude. Big L, like, you know, just a punchline beast. You know what I'm saying? Very vulgar, very like, you know, in your face, but he's you know, very credible as a rapper. And then Andre 3000, you know, is just has the most ability out of everybody and the most fearlessness.
I hate that we don't see him in too much stuff anymore, but he kind of, you know what I'm saying, laid that foundation and made that legacy. Yeah,
well, you know, I feel like he's just every rapper deals with it, man. They deal with pride. They deal with trying to be the greatest. They deal with intent and motivation. They deal with struggle. You know what I'm saying? He has all that stuff in his lane. You know, when you're part of a group like Outkast, you know, you may not be on board for all the stuff. You know what I'm saying? You got to do it. You may have done some things kind of like, man, I never wanted to do that. You know what I'm saying? I never wanted to do that.
Did you see the Key and Peele episode with?
Yeah.
That joke is so funny, man.
Them dudes so weird to me,
funny,
man.
Yeah,
they are funny though.
Dude, he had one line. They did a remix to that song "Walk It Out." Remember, "Walk It Out" came out years ago. Walk It Out. He said, "Walk it out like Usher. If you say real talk, I probably won't trust you." Dude, I love.
Yeah,
that was it. That was like at the height of stunner shades and tall tees. You know what I'm saying? Like people walking through the mall with big stunner shades and tall t-shirts on, and like at the height of that, he came out with that line. That was so dope, man.
Yeah, when he said, "Make your mama proud. Take that shirt 2 sizes down," or something like that. Like, dude, he's a beast, bro.
He is, man. He totally is. But see, I've got this crazy theory, man. And this is just going out on a limb, and I don't know if it would really happen. But what if, like a lot of the greats, like they go out at the perfect time? You know, like we look at Elvis, we look at Kurt Cobain, Bob Marley. Like they didn't have time to kind of hit that place that DMX is in right now. You know what I'm saying? They didn't have time to go there. So I'm wondering, like, what if Pac would have stuck around? And I throw this theory out there. Nobody can fathom it. But what if Pac got involved with snap rapping? As big as snap rapping was, what if Pac stuck around and got caught up with D4L and the Laffy Taffies?
Never.
Hey, you shaking your head. I mean, hey, you don't know, man. It was the biggest stuff out, man. Everybody, that was the stuff.
You know, that's when I feel like hip hop really did go on life support, you know. Yeah. But I feel like, this is my theory, right? During that time, D4L, DJ Unk, Baby Huey, all these disrespectful brands came along, and then like these subpar rappers made like kind of started to come in. Right? I'm not even talking about those guys. Yeah. Though I think those guys, Young Jock, all those dudes lowered the bar so low that
Wale doors for dudes like me to go.
Right, but Wale looked like a great.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like Wale looked like he was the best rapper alive.
Yeah.
And this is gonna rub some people the wrong way. You know what I'm saying? But like Meek Mill looked like the greatest rapper alive. Basically, all of Rick Ross's label looked like the greatest. You know what I'm saying? Like all those dudes look like amazing. And so now that we have, your Drakes, your Kendricks, your J. Cole's, we realize the difference between a J. Cole and a Wale.
And a Jock.
You know what I'm saying? The Jock or any of those dudes. You know what I'm saying? Like we know the difference now. And so, part of me is like, why do we even care about what some of these dudes think?
Yeah.
So yeah, man, hip hop definitely was in recession and it was in a rough place. And so all these other dudes who, the kids who were born in the 90s were listening to coming up, like, what's the dude's name, man?
Boosie.
You know what I'm saying? Like Boosie, right? So Boosie is like a GOAT. Like people like really call him like the Southern Pop. Yeah. Which I totally disagree with. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, I ain't grew up on Lil Boosie because that wasn't my style. You know what I mean? But
I've listened to some of it, and he does have some of those tracks. I was a No Limit dude. Dude, my favorite Southern rapper of all time, C Murder.
Please don't say. Okay, cool. I thought you were gonna say Silk the Shocker. I was gonna hang up. I was gonna hang up on you, man.
Let me ask you this, man. This isn't bashing anybody. It's not bashing Silk the Shocker. But do you think he is homosexual? Have you watched his new interviews that he's doing with Vlad and all those guys? Hip Hop DX. You haven't seen none of the newer stuff that he's doing?
Okay. Nah.
He's very effeminate. He pops his gums when he talks.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's I don't even think he's homo. I think some dudes like raised by their mom. You know what I'm saying? And you got feminine like things they do. Some dudes maybe, but at the same time, it's like I try to stay so focused on what I'm doing, I have no idea. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
But when I was a kid, those guys were the ghosts for me, though. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
Even Silk the Shocker, some of his verses, man, to go back and listen to him, even though like he made his cadence up as he went, probably like he didn't know his stuff at all. Some of those verses are still good, man. You know what I'm saying? When you go back and listen to them.
I wouldn't agree with you
at all.
I mean, they definitely like. There's some stuff from my memory that
they stuck in your head. Okay.
Yeah, they make me feel good. It's from my memory.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't be like, yo, this was a dope verse. Because, I mean, like, right after Silk the Shocker, you had somebody like Mystical come on, who would totally rip the beat apart.
Yeah.
And you,
but when you was listening to it, you couldn't tell the difference back then. Now you can. But back
I
then,
could always tell the difference.
I mean, we knew that we knew that he was the wackest, but it was, come on, man.
I know we showed him mad love because we was down with No Limit. Like, we was down with everybody. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Mamma Mia, like, everybody was dope. But I would say during that time, yes. But it was about the time, like, during that same year or something like that, I feel like the Miseducation of Lauryn Hill came out like a year later or something.
Yeah.
So it was like,
yeah,
we can't really rock with this no more. Man. We got to elevate.
Yep. And then he sold his whole. Everybody's jumping on me right now in the chat for talking about this, man.
I can't see nobody.
Everybody in the chat's like, you trying to make him hang up, man. You're talking about Silk the Shocker. You're arguing with him about Silk the Come on, man. It's just simply nostalgia. Would you go to the No Limit tour? Because they're doing like some, you know what I'm saying, reunion shows. Would you go to it?
I don't go to anything. I mean, if I could, I probably would go.
If you got invited.
You know, if I got invited to be backstage, I probably would walk by and look and be like, oh, that's dope.
If Mystical came to my house, knocked on the door, gave me a letter, I may go, may not.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not really into that no more, man. I'm not really into that going to shows. But yeah, I would definitely go, but I really wouldn't want to. I'd watch it.
Yeah, it's straight nostalgia, but I think I'm where you are here. It's like I would rather create the content than spend time, and just looking it up and just going at it. Like the drive in you to create is just so that you gotta grind. That's like, you know what I'm saying? I think that's just where it is for us creators, man. So instead of doing it, you want to create it. Yeah. That's
what happened with me, man. Like I watched, like even watching. I used to watch football. I used to be really into football, Ravens, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm a Ravens fan. And I just like, man, like it stuck to me one day. Like, man, I'm sitting here watching all these people live their dream. Yeah. And I ain't living. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, you know what? I'm going to be a pusher, not a fiend. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to be a producer, not someone who consumes. Yeah. And so I decided that a long time ago, and that's where I'm at right now.
That's that's one of the most beautiful things to see is somebody living their dream. Do whatever it is that they do. Like we got some tattoo shops around here full of like awesome tattoo artists, man. And to go there and see them enjoy going to work and to create art and do that stuff, man, just to see the persona that they're in, it's like, man, that's like, it's envious to see anybody do what they love to do for a living, whether they're a rapper and they're getting paid to do it, whether they're an artist, a painter. Like, I believe that everybody has the right to pursue their dreams, man, and do it for a living. You know what I'm saying?
Totally agree.
Yeah.
Totally. I mean, that's really all we really have is like the thought that we can be something greater than what we are. You know what I'm saying? That we can beat the odds. And so like part of me is like, yo, why me? Why am I like one of the only people that I know from where I'm from that's like believes that they can do something? You know what I'm saying? Like I talk to so many of my friends from back home and sometimes it's like, hey, yo, what you been up to, man? You know me, just trying to stay out of trouble. Like, bro, that's what you doing with your life, trying to stay out of trouble? Like, that is horrible, bro. Like,
I was 14 when I was doing that, trying to stay out of trouble, man.
Yeah. But, like, dudes is like, they trying to stay out of the way, man, because, like, you know, it's real hard back home. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, man, I get it. You know what I mean? And so, like, I feel extremely blessed that the Lord has me doing what I'm doing and that I'm a light. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like I'm a light, man, to the cats I'm at the high school with and stuff like that. So.
Have you had a chance to read the book The Alchemist yet?
Nah, I don't do a lot of reading.
Yeah, I don't either. And this comes from a student of the word. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, yeah.
Like, I think it was one of the books where he was asked several times. Will Smith was asked on Oprah if you were on a deserted island, and you had one book to read, what would it be? And he said it was The Alchemist. And he kind of talked about it. He was on a Tavis Smiley show, and he talked about how, like, the book is alive. Like, it's a powerful book that when you read it, it will, like, shake you to go out and pursue your dreams. It won't let you sleep unless you're doing something today to kind of move towards that goal that you want to create, man. And
you read it?
Yeah. And the thing about it, it's a short read, but it's a magical book. It really is, man. It's kind of like the Bible in a sense, because with the scriptures, like when you read those stories about the people in the Old Testament and stuff, like those people represent you, the struggles that they go through, the giants that they're facing, the idols that they've been bowing to for years that they got to overcome. That represents you, right? And so the same way that this book is written, it's a story about a young man's journey for this hidden treasure, and he forsakes all to find it. But you're the young man, and everything that he goes in contact with, the people he meet, represent things in your life. It's like dude's reading your mind when he wrote it. Paulo Coelho, The Alchemist. It's a short read, dude. If you take anything away from this interview, check that book out. Even if it's the audio book, laying down with the old lady, man, put it on.
That's what I'm looking up right now. The audio book, man.
Hey, you can go. Hey, check it out. Quick drop. You can go to audibletrial.com/truthseeker and download it for free, man. And we can get back from that, no doubt. Hey, book. Hey, we get how we live, man.
Hey, I hear that, man.
You know what affiliate marketing is, man. No
Truth Seeker, got you.
Yeah, man. So, dude, thanks so much for coming on the show. I enjoyed finally getting to talk to you, man. I've been watching you as a fan, watching, you know what I'm saying, the videos of you and your family and your children. We like, me and my daughter, we just pull it up on the phone and we watch all of them, man, back to back. Is there any new ones? Is there any new ones? And then we pull my wife in here and, you know what I'm saying, make her watch this certain little segment. Watch this part. Watch this.
That's love, man. Thank you so much, man.
It's good stuff.
Yeah, so sorry about not being able to bring the kids on.
No,
I want to explain that real quick, man. So basically, I ask sometimes when we do these like little things or whatever, I ask a lot of them. You know what I'm saying? And I try to limit the amount of times I asked him to do something. You know what I'm saying? So if he was to actually walk past the computer and say, "I want to say hi," I would let him speak. But I'm not going to be like, "Hey, I want you to sit here." Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Because it's really hard to keep their attention, and I don't want to be pulling from them. You know what I'm saying? I just want it to be as natural as possible.
Yeah, dude, it's so cool, man, what you guys are doing, and I'm learning from it. It's beautiful.
Amen.
Plug some of your links, man, your Patreon, your YouTube, man, for everybody who's watching right now. They want to hit you up and follow it because, you know what I'm saying, pretty much a lot of my fan base have no idea who you are. So cool. Now, you know what I'm saying, now they do, and you guys have to check it out. Beautiful stuff. Go ahead and share all the links and all that good stuff.
Cool, man. Beleaf In Fatherhood is the YouTube page, BELEAF, and patreon.com/BIF is the Patreon page. But really, it's all about the YouTube page. If you just view and watch the show, that'll be great. That'll be enough. I just put out an album called In Fatherhood. You can look that up. You can stream it on Spotify. And Truth Seeker, I'll make sure I give you that link so you can have like everything and the instrumentals and all that, and you can do the videos and all that.
For sure.
But yeah, man, like thank you guys so much for watching, and just keep supporting, man. Keep supporting my man Truth Seeker for putting these things together, doing the podcast and being a patron. Thank you guys for supporting him because he's supporting me. You know what I'm saying? That's love. So yeah, we're gonna keep doing it. We're gonna lift up the kingdom, man, and it's gonna be all good, bro.
All right, and everybody else listening, make sure y'all go and grab the latest Silk the Shock album, man. Nostalgia. Hey, man, thanks for coming on, brother.
All right, bro. Peace, man.
Shalom. Peace. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Let me try to fix this stream right quick so you guys can see my lovely mug. There we go. There's something. There's a piece of me. That was an awesome interview. Like, I really watched this guy with my daughter, and we love his broadcast. We love their little show. Make sure y'all go check it out for real. Good stuff. To get everything out the way, Patreon, you guys heard that. Patreon.com. Definitely go check out all his links. Check out mine, patreon.com/truthseeker. We're going to be adding more podcasts. So we're going to be doing like some private ones just for the Patreon supporters only. And that'll be something special for you guys to kind of give you guys extra for supporting. So much new music is up on the Patreon. Like I said, about 6 songs or so, something like that. Check that out. Also, if you want to support, you can go to audibletrial.com/truthseeker, audibletrial.com/truthseeker, and get your first audiobook for free. The Alchemist, trust me, man. If you guys are wanting to pursue your dreams, you wanting to chase your goals, read that book. Trust me. And once you read it, pass it on to somebody else who you think is on a similar path. It's a powerful book. So definitely make sure you guys check that out as well. So with that, I'm going to say shalom, shalom. Thanks, everybody, for hanging out with us. We are on iTunes now. Make sure you go like us over there. Follow the iTunes links because it boosts the ratings and help us, reach more people when it pushes us up the ratings. So going back to iTunes. Yeah. So, shalom, shalom, guys. I'm out. I don't know what to say, y'all. I'm just rambling. But yeah, I love you guys. Peace.